On the build show today, I'm going to teach you how to soundproof a room using one tool and 50 bucks in supplies. On today's video, we're going to be talking about soundproofing on the cheap. You know, you can spend a lot of money on soundproofing, and I've got quite a few videos on that. But today I want to show you how to do it for 50 bucks in supplies. And you don't even have to be the contractor to do this. You could do this on any house in this phase under construction. So let's get started. We're coming to you from a bedroom, new construction house, and this is the phase where you want to start. We don't want any drywall hung yet. If you got drywall in your house already, turn off the video. This one's not for you. Okay, so let's first figure out where we want to spend our money. If we've only got 50 bucks to spend, we want to spend it in the most important locations that are going to make a big difference. In this room, we've got an exterior wall. We're not going to worry about that. We've got another wall that has two closets back to back. Closets do a great job of dampening noise, so we're not going to spend any money there. But behind me is a hallway, and hallways are notoriously loud. And we've got a laundry room in this room right next door. We don't want to wake up the baby by that bell on the dryer going off. So we're going to focus on these two walls. Now first, when you put the sheetrock up, sheetrock itself does a great job of soundproofing. It's very dense, it's heavy, it's going to stop the noise. But think about the holes that we've got in drywall. Everywhere there's an electrical outlet, that's a big hole in that drywall. And anywhere there's a hole, a lot of noise travels through there because there's air that can travel through there. So with these outlets, that's what we're going to focus on first, and we're going to be using this product right here. This is called Quiet Putty. These are acoustic putty pads. And if you look at this outlet, you'll notice that there's actually air at the back of the outlet where the knockoffs are, where the electrical wires are going to be going through. So that's where we're going to focus on. That's where we really want to spend the time and energy to detail those well. These acoustic putty pads, they're kind of like a silly putty that you played with as a kid. They're very formable and moldable. Take your time on every outlet and first focus on the knockouts where the electrical wires are going through. We want to really seal around those electrical wires really well. We want to adhere that to the plastic box. And any knockouts that aren't being used, we also want to seal on those. Those are typically 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, or if you have a double outlet like we've got over here, you may have 4 knockouts on there. Spend the time, make sure those are perfectly air sealed using these putty pads. We've got 5 outlets over here and it's 5 pads for about 25 bucks. So we can totally air seal and noise proof just by doing those outlets. Okay, step 2 is actually during the drywall phase. If you're hanging the drywall yourself, here's a tip for you. We're going to be using Quiet Seal Pro, and we're actually going to use this in between the sheets of drywall. Now, if you're not the drywall contractor, or if you're doing this after the fact later, once the drywall guy's left, you may not be able to do in between the sheets. That's not quite as important. But the most important thing is to air seal those outlets where the sheetrock meets the outlet. So where the drywall contractor has buzzed out the sheetrock around there, we're going to lay a nice bead on all 4 sides where the drywall touches that electrical box. Make sure we've got a good seal there. Now this acoustic sealant, it's not cheap. It's about 25 bucks a tube. One big size tube like this is probably going to do this entire room for us. So you can get away with just 1 tube if you're doing a small area. But don't sacrifice and use a regular painter's caulk. That's not going to work well because it's going to harden and dry over time, whereas this acoustic sealant is going to remain flexible for the life of the product. So you want to spend the money, especially in this small of an area, to do it right. Okay, the last tip for you, if you weren't able to do in between the sheets, now that the drywall contractor's done, you could probably do between the drywall and the subfloor. Lay a nice bead of this acoustic sealant right at that joint where the drywall meets the subfloor, and that's going to help noise proof that bottom plate area. All right guys, I hope you learned something today. For 50 bucks, this is going to make a dramatic difference on this room. For more videos on this topic, or if you've got a little more to spend, there's a bunch of other methods, but this is going to make a huge difference on the sound on this room. I'd love to have you following me on Instagram or Twitter. And by the way, everything that I talked about today, both the putty pads, the caulking gun that I like, and the Quiet Seal Pro, there'll be a link in the description below so you can buy those through Amazon, or sometimes you can find these at the local home center as well. Last quick tip for you. If you've got 1/2-inch drywall, consider upgrading to 5/8-inch drywall. That thicker drywall, that more mass, that's going to make a big difference also in the overall sound transmission between rooms. Thanks guys, have a great day. We'll see you next time on The Build Show.